Hey everybody, Tim Allard with Bass Pro One Source. In today's video, I want to share with you some of my favorite lures when I go kayak fishing. These baits are extremely versatile and they catch a lot of different species, whether panfish, bass, walleye, pike, etc. So let me show you kind of the three main categories that I always make sure I bring when I head out on the water. The first category of baits is a jig. And I'm a big fan of a bucktail jig, but a tube is a very close second. And the reason is that these baits are just extremely versatile in the different ways that you can fish them. I can swim this bucktail like a jerkbait. Same goes for a tube jig on a light jig head. I can toss this bucktail into weed edges and rip it and get a lot of reaction strikes from bass and walleye and panfish. Or I can work this tube on a really light jig head and kind of just swim it and let it flutter onto the top of weeds. Of course, in deeper water, you can vertical jig these or drag them along bottom. So you definitely want to make sure that you carry jigs when you go out kayak fishing. The next bait that I definitely wouldn't want to forget when I went kayak fishing is a spinnerbait. Again, catches all sorts of fish and extremely versatile. This is pretty much my horizontal presentation in the sense that you can burn it under the subsurface, catch yourself big bass. It's weedless because of the safety pin design. So sometimes when you're in a kayak, you're low to the water, you can't really see where the edges of the weeds are. This is going to minimize foul ups because of the design of the bait. And then of course, you can get into different retrieves with this, grind it on bottom, yo-yo it down a ledge. And another thing that's really key about why I like spinnerbaits is a single hook. And it also applies to the jigs that I mentioned before. Kayak fishing, you're just so much more close to the fish. And fishing with single hook lures is something that I really try and do just because it speeds up release times and it eliminates a lot of risk of yourself getting hooked. So single hook spinnerbait, great presentation. Final category of baits are topwaters. And topwaters are really effective at catching tons of different fish. But the reason that I won't go fishing without these in a kayak is they're an absolute blast. Because you're low to the water in a kayak, topwater strikes just seem so much more amplified, I find, than when I'm fishing in my aluminum boat and I'm higher to the water. So a frog is a great lure for bass fishing, pike fishing as well. Otherwise, I might go with a popper style topwater or walk the dog bait for a variety of other different species. So in addition to catching lots of fish, these things are an absolute blast to fish out of a kayak. So there you go, folks, some of my favorite lures for kayak fishing. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm Tim Allard from Bass Pro One Source. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more tips.